Peace to her. Salute to you guys. Still got the sources in the background, just fucking bullshit, quote unquote sources out there. But anyway, your boy Eru's here. Going to talk about Donovan Mitchell and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Which player is better for the Knicks? Which player makes more sense for the Knicks? All right, is this trade happening or what? I know it's making me sick, because I am under the weather. But anyway, let's talk about it. The Knicks podcast. Where is it? Let's go. So welcome to Knicks. This is Eru and Anystar. I had rants. I'm a little off, man. You can tell a little bit. I got like a little fever thing going on. I think I got an infection in my foot, man. For those that know, I got a broken toe, so I think there's something going on with my feet, man. So I kind of under the weather, whatever. So anyway, I had a long day today. Was outside all day. I wanted to do this podcast yesterday, but I just didn't have chance to do it. But anyway, let's talk about it, man. This whole Donovan Mitchell thing. What's the holdup? It's Danny Ainge, man. I'm freaking sick and tired of that dude, man. But listen. Let's talk nicely about Danny Ainge for a second before I get into the whole pod here. So anyway, let's actually watch some Danny Ainge tape, man. How good was Danny Ainge? Let's take a look here. Push play on this video. So anyway, Danny Ainge 6'4", he's from Oregon. He's a tough white guy. You know what I'm saying? If you wanna talk about like Toronto and Vancouver and stuff like that, there's something about like these Toronto guys, man. They're just a different breed of white guy. They got good comedians come out of Canada and things of that nature. But they just built different, man. You can see him. He's not afraid to talk to Michael Jordan. He's getting under Michael Jordan's skin. A couple things here. Getting under everybody's skin. I forgot. I think that's Andrew Toney from the 76ers. They're pushing matches and stuff like that. See Danny Ainge doing all the dirty work. Elbow and make sure, what's the name? Clyde Drexler doesn't fight anybody through the ball at Clyde Drexler. He was a good player, 6'4". One of those hybrid guards that's really good at he could play point guard. He could play shooting guard as well. With the Celtics, he doesn't get enough credit for his offensive ability. But after he left the Celtics, he before he went to Phoenix, he ended up in Sacramento. And he had a decent season in Sacramento. I think he had like 16 points and whatever. Really good scorer. From afar, I always wanted him on the Knicks back in the days because he was just tough, man. So outside of Danny Ainge, I got my wish, from John Starks. So if I could compare Danny Ainge to anybody, Danny Ainge and Don Starks are basically the same player. Look at him, talking shit to Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars is a gentleman around the league, and he got under Joe Dumars' skin. So look at this, the big time troll, fake artist. Jordan wanted to slap the shit out of him. So anyway, all these years later, as an executive, look, it hit somebody in the head with the basketball. I think that was Otis Thorpe. He hit in the face with the basketball. I mean, he was a big time troll, man. So it's talking about hitting the face with the basketball, man. I feel like Danny Ainge, he's just like a thorn in all Knicks fan side right now. Because if it wasn't for him, I think this trade would be done already. And I know everybody's kind of I'm tired of talking about it, but I guess not because that's all you see on on Twitter for sure. And then everyone keeps talking about who they think about this player being traded, that player being traded. It's kind of sickening, man. So let me just say what's up to everybody before I get into it. Got Geraldine is here. We got Knicks community. What's good, man? Moving into college tomorrow. So wow, man. That's what's up. Congratulations, bro. That's Knicks community. That's my brother Aiden there. Good kid. Definitely got to work something out with my man. See if I can get some pods here together. Anyway, Kerry Cox. We got Mr. Chill. What are you talking about there? Don't forget. Yeah, he played Major League Baseball too. But he had a reputation in baseball too of fighting. Baseball is different than basketball, especially back in the '80s, man. It was kind of like gun ho back in those days. Guys would just do whatever. So he definitely was a crazy boy back in the days, man. So anyway, yeah, I got Dolan. Yeah, I gotta put. Listen, everybody always talking badly about Dolan, man. But I put him right there because Dolan is the owner of this team. Right now he's playing his instruments. You see him doing business in Vegas and stuff. So he's not worried about the Knicks. He's letting the guys that he hired for once do the basketball operations, and he's taking care of everything else. And not for nothing, the MSG business is flourishing. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is there, man. Shout out to him. Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in, man. Let's get busy, man. Let's just get out of this Danny Ainge talk. Like I said, I did respect him as a player and stuff like that, but he's like so annoying. You want to talk about Isaiah Thomas versus the Knicks? There's basically same thing. Isaiah Thomas, business wise, is basically Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge. He's looking for the perfect trade. Like you're not going to get the perfect thing in any kind of negotiation. That just doesn't work that way. So anyway, Leon Rose knows what he's doing. At least I think so. So I'm hoping something happens here. But should we even trade for Donovan Mitchell? Let's talk about it, man. Let's just share the whole thing here. So I just want to talk about this here for a second. It says the users are motivated to make a Donovan Mitchell deal before training camp. This is according to Brian Windhurst, whatever. That's another ESPN jackass. It doesn't sound like the folks around the league that the Jazz are trying to apply the gas here. Apply what gas? Like the freaking lethal injection or something? What the hell? To try to juice the offer, especially from. I mean, it's just bullshit. Like all these little keywords and stuff like that. How many more ways can you say it? It's just BS. Basically, Donovan Mitchell here. Good kid. Like you don't hear anything about anything from his side. Nothing, forcing trades or anything like that. This is the guy here. This is the guy that made that quote that NBA Central retweeted here. I mean, all these guys are a bunch of jackasses. Wojnarowski. For those that didn't check out that video that I made, Wojnarowski basically runs the ESPN. So if he has a news story or whatever, if it's not solid, he sends one of those guys out there to give out that message. He doesn't do it himself. So take things with a grain of salt. If Woj didn't say it himself, then nothing's happening, man. But one thing that has been happening is the talk surrounding what's the name? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Well, one there's another little stupid joke I want to talk about Danny Ainge here. Danny Ainge is like, this is what I tweeted earlier. Danny Ainge is like your cousin that refuses to trade you Baltic Avenue unless you give them 4 railroads, both utilities, boardwalk, and $2,000 because you can put houses on it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows that when you play a Monopoly, this is the Monopoly board. This is Baltic Avenue right there. You see it at the top here. Baltic Avenue is one of the cheapest properties. So if you already got Mediterranean and you're trying to get Baltic and you're trying to work out a deal, that's what they want. They want everything. Like you're not going to get everything just for Baltic. But if you put hotels on Baltic, that's nowhere near the rent that you would even get for like landing on Boardwalk or Park Place. It's not really a lot of bread. But guys are going to want like a king's ransom just because you're going to have the ability to put hotels on there. So I mean, it's crazy. It's a crazy analogy. But that's essentially what Danny Ainge is all about here with this nonsense. Like I said, in negotiations, you're not going to be able to get the best deal all the time. On both sides. If you're trying to get something, like the best analogy I can get is like as far as like Monopoly or like negotiating, it's cars. Because I mean, the thing with cars now, the median price I think I saw the other day on Twitter is like 40 something thousand, $46,000 for one car. And then the average price per month is 700. Now we're not talking about all luxury cars. We're talking about mid-sized cars and just like Hondas and Hyundais and stuff like that. People are paying $46,000 just for the car to begin with. So these same people that are blowing their whole livelihood on like a entry-level car, are the ones complaining, oh, how come Danny Ainge don't do that? How come Leon Rose need to just get the deal done? Stop playing around. These are the people that are paying $700 something for a freaking Hyundai. $46 something thousand for a base level Hyundai. So I mean, get the hell out of here, man. You guys know what the hell I'm talking about. So anyway, let's get into this just talk. So anyway, I want to just talk about him, where he's from. Another guy from Toronto. This goofy Toronto guys here. Toronto people are historically like passive aggressive. So I came across a video today of him at one of those like summer league pickup games where he's like talking and just like the way that they even talk shit is like kind of goofy. So I mean, like, and also too, like add RJ Barrett to the mix. RJ Barrett in the international play is the top dog. You want to talk about Wiggins and RJ Barrett? Those are the two top dogs when it comes to that team. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is probably the third wheel on that thing, because Shai to me doesn't strike me as a leader. Yes, he can score and stuff like this, right? But also too, you have to take into account the dude is playing on a bad team, historically bad team. When he finally did make the playoffs, I think that was his like the second year, and he played with Chris Paul that year. So yeah, I think he averaged like 19 points a game. Let's take a look at that year. So it was this year here. 19, 20. So I'm just gonna look at that roster. If you look at this roster, you got there's quite a few people here that was in double figures. You got Shai, he led the team in scoring with 19 points. You can see on the right hand side, 19 points, 17 for Chris Paul. Dennis Schroeder actually came off the bench. Actually, started a couple times. He had just about 19 points per game. Danilo Gallinari also had 18.7, close to 19. And Steven Adams had his basic almost double double. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that was the squad there. You got a three-headed monster at guard, and then Danilo Gallinari. Bunch of other guards too. Not too many big men on OKC historically. So I mean, that's what we're looking at here. So I mean, if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander comes to the Knicks, right? Is he going to be that 25 point a game scorer that he's been doing the last few years? Take into account the record for these years here. I'm just going to look at his scoring. 23 points per game, not last year, the year before that, and then 25, basically 24.5 last year. Also, too, he's not healthy. He's never healthy. 35 games the year before, 56 last year. So I mean, the dude is never there. He's never healthy. A lot of those games too. OKC, I think, benched him like after the All-Star break. It's just ridiculous that his career there. But if you want to talk about go-to scoring, this, that, and the other, yeah, he's a good player, but I don't necessarily trust him to be a go-to scorer. Because let's check out the playoffs. Playoffs was his first 2 seasons. The first season with the Clippers, he played pretty well as a rookie, 13 points per game off for that Clippers team. OKC, he averaged 16 points, which was less than his season average. They did lose that first round. I think they took him to 7 games. Yeah, took him to 7 games. 16 points per game, playing with Chris Paul. I mean, you can say what you want about him. Also to just check out the records for those years. This is the playoff year: 44 wins, 28 losses. The next season, when he averaged 23 points per game, they only won 22 games. The next season, which was last season, they had 24 wins. So we're talking about a guy that's that's not a winner. Early on in the season, he did play on decent teams where you can actually look to that and say, okay, he was on a good team and he played well. Especially his rookie year, and he played well his rookie year. But I mean, how does that translate to us? Is he going to be that guy, whatever? So it comes to like a if. We got too many ifs on the team. Julius Randle needs to come back. RG needs to go to the next level. So many other guys too. Quickly, you're talking about Quentin Grimes and all this other stuff, man. So if we make this deal, we have to think about that. Not for nothing. The 6'6", next to Brunson, that makes a little bit more sense too. But if you ever watch Donovan Mitchell play, so let's really talk about Donovan Mitchell. If you watch Donovan Mitchell play, he never you never think about his height. Like you have to really look it up to say, damn, he's 6'1". Let's double check. Let's see what he's listed as. 6'1", 215. So the 215 makes him look wider, right? Pause. 6'1". What makes him seem so much taller is his wingspan. I think his wingspan is like 7 foot or something like that. He has like a crazy wingspan. But let's do the same thing with him, man. Let's check out his scoring. 20 points, 23, 24, 26, 25. That's for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons in the NBA. Check out his playoffs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the playoffs. 5 years in the NBA, 5 years in the playoffs. So I mean, now you could talk about his team. Who did he play with? Okay, he might have played with better teams, but this is the playoffs here. 24 points as a rookie, 21 in the second year, 36 that year when he was battling against Denver, 32 the year before. The year after that. 36 one year, 32 the next, 25 after that. So you're talking about 28 points per game in the playoffs in his young career, and he's not even in his prime yet. So these are things that this is the reason why we need to get him here. Also, too, I'm gonna look at Shai again. Shai's shooting percentages are great, man. Free throws is 80. I'm looking at regular season. Free throws is 80%. 80% a free throw shooter. That tells you that the guy can really shoot. So let's look at 2-point percentage. Right here is basically 51% for his career. 51% shooting from the 2-point range as a guard is freaking excellent, man. Go to the 3-point percentage. Last year was a down year because he's always damn hurt or always hurt. Still gets like 5 attempts per game, basically. 30% from 3 last year, which isn't good. It was a down year. Year before that was 41, 44, 36. 34, 36. So, is this that Canadian bullshit where his guys are just up and down with a 3-point shot? So because it's the same problem that RJ has. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying the 2-point percentage and free throw percentage shows that he can't shoot the ball from the field. Even though he did shoot 30, he shot 45% from the field last year. 50, 71, excuse me, 47 and 47 for his first 2 years. So he could shoot the ball, man. So back to Donovan. Donovan, the same thing. Look at his free throws, 86% for his career. At 1 year he actually shot 94% from the free throw line. No, excuse me, that's the playoffs. So let's look at the regular season. Regular season, same thing, 80s, just same thing, just like Shai Gilgeous. 2-point percentage, same thing, 53% last year. The year before, 47, 49, 46, 50. We're talking about a 6'1" guard. So I mean, field goal percentage from the 2-point range, that's decent, man. 3-point percentage is his bread and butter. He takes a lot of threes, man. 7 per game for his career. 9.8 last year, bro. 9.8 attempts from three last year. So he's gonna be a sniper from the outside. 35% from the three is about league average or so. So I mean, but shooting a lot, 35%, that's decent, man. You want to talk about Fournier and this, that, and the other. If we trade Fournier, he'll definitely be able to come in there and take over that 3-point. We lost the loss of 3-point shot. Brunson can shoot the three as well. So coming from that standpoint, we got two guys that can shoot the three from the backcourt is really good. Field goal percentage, 44, 33, 44. For a volume scorer like this, a guy that shoots so much from the field, 20 attempts. Let's look at Shai's real quick. Last 2 seasons for Donovan was 20 attempts. Shai was 16 and 18. You know what I'm saying? They both average about the same, but for those shot attempts to still be shooting 44% to be a little guard, it's freaking excellent, man. It's freaking excellent. This is not Iverson. I know State would hate me to say that because talking about efficiency when it comes to great players, the guys that are great, that take most of the shots, they're gonna have bad shooting percentages, especially if they're a guard, because there's so much weight on these guys. But shooting 44%, upwards of almost 45% is really good for a guard, man, league guard. So, signs still point to Donovan Mitchell. I still want the Donovan Mitchell trade. Like I said, getting another Canadian in here, it's that passive aggressive shit, man. I don't know if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be able to be that guy that say like a Julius Randle is going to respect. I know RJ is going to respect because they're Canadians, man. No disrespect to anybody that's Canadian out there, but everybody that's known a Canadian or been to Canada or whatever, they're just different people over there. They're just very different temperament kind of people. So we already got one. RJ has a great temperament. Shai Gilgeous, his temperament is almost exactly the same as RJ. So we need a mix. We need a mix of personalities here. We can't have our main guys, with their pulse you can barely feel their pulse. We can't have that. So Donovan Mitchell, I feel he has that dare I say it, he has that Jordan, he has that Kobe, where like the temperament, like when the going gets tough or when it's crunch time, he almost flatlines, where it doesn't bother him, where he wants it. So for, like I said, for those that don't think that's a good comparison, I mean, he has the highest points per game average, I think like one of the tops in NBA history for the playoffs. So I mean, this is under Utah. He's still under great pressure, because if you look at any of these teams, I could just go to last year. This is last year's stats. I just want to see who else was there. Who else was on the Utah's team that you can say, okay, well, he played with this guy. He played with Rudy Gobert, 15 points per game, 18 points from Bogdan, 13 from Conley, Jordan Clarkson for 16. The rest is a bunch of mediocre stuff. Let's check out the playoffs. Anybody step up in the playoffs? People say that Donovan Mitchell choked last year, which is not fair. 25 points per game. Bogdanovich, he still had 18. Rudy Gobert had 12. Clarkson still has 17. But I mean, who else is there? He's basically playing by himself. When it came down to it, last second shot or fourth quarter play, that's all on him. He's basically creating everything. You want to talk about assists? He led the team in assists and rebounding. Not rebound, assists from the guard position. So I mean, their Conley was their point guard. So I mean, he's doing a lot. High usage player. A lot of stuff on his back. He was producing 25 points per game in the playoffs. And people said that he choked. He had a bad playoffs. I don't know what else you want to say, man. And then at the same time, you want him to guard, at a all NBA level, and also score all the points. So it's like, come on, man. What do you want from this guy? So anyway, between those two guys, man, it's interesting to talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's not a new concept because we've been talking about it. Also, too, if you do a quick YouTube search, people were talking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as much as a year ago going to the Knicks. Along with a couple other players too. But we already talked about Shai enough. Throughout the course of the Me and State devoted podcast talking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We thought that was a great idea, and we also talked about it that is probably a better idea than Donovan Mitchell, just a simple fact from the height standpoint. But when I'm talking about mentally and just ability to really lock in and what we need as a franchise, in the group that we have out there, Donovan Mitchell needs to be here more than Shai, man. So I mean, it's a fun conversation, but and also too, it's a coincidence that comes out because this stuff about the Donovan Mitchell Utah stuff is starting to heat up, and they want to get it. Another one of the things said they want to get it done before training camp. That's what it says right here actually. They didn't want to try to get it done before training camp, and they're trying to gas the New York Knicks and stuff. Man, come on, man. I really can't stand it. I really can't. I know you guys can't stand it either, man. But it is what it is, man. Training camp is coming right now. What is it like? It's August. August what? August what, like, what's this, 26th? August 26th? Come on, man. It's August 26th. September's right around the corner. Training camp is going to be like 2 weeks after that, maybe like the middle of September, or maybe like second to last week in September. That's when training camp starts. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, things kind of need to get situated now because I mean, not only does talking about training camp, but guys got to get settled in their regular lives. The guys got to get their house together. They got to get their family together. So I mean, this is a burden for a lot of people, man. Like let this trade happen. You know what I'm saying? Get all the logistics together. Let everyone move their families where they need to go, buy their houses, get everything situated, and let's just talk basketball for once, man. It really isn't fair to the fans, man, and for all these podcasts and for everyone to be arguing and still coming up with quote unquote new teams involved and all this other stuff. It's kind of too much now, man. It's like, listen, if this trade's gonna go down, let it happen already. And if it's not going to be the Knicks, then trade with whoever you need to trade to. So I mean, this is what I'm pleading. I mean, me and Steak talked about it the other day. The other night, I should say. We were talking all last night, all the other night about it. So I mean, everyone's talking about it. Listen, get it done already. Not just because you want to get the best deal. Get the deal that works for your franchise, so you can just go back to business as usual. Everyone could just not worried about being traded. Because I mean, not only Donovan Mitchell, there's other players on this roster for Utah, that might actually be on the move too. You got Donovan Mitchell, Bogdan, Rudy Gobert. You want to talk about guys like what's his name, Rudy Gay. A bunch of different guys that are available. Jordan Clarkson. Everyone needs to know if they're going to be involved in this damn trade. If they're going to be involved in a 3-team trade where they're sent somewhere else too. So I mean, it's not fair. It's not fair, definitely, man. So Danny Ainge, man, I got a lot of respect for your game, for your game back in the days. Like I said, I give you a bunch of compliments. So the game was pretty good. Reminds me of a white John Starks back in the days. A lot of fighting, a lot of fearlessness. Big time shots and things of that nature. I compared you to that guy, man. So there's a lot of respect I have for Danny Ainge, man. But this stuff here has got to stop, man. It definitely has got to stop, and we need to just move on. Some fans, like I said, I go on Twitter, and make some comments and stuff, and guys are like, "Come on, stop capping for these guys." We gotta wait for Durant. If they don't have a job, it's too bad on them. Come on, that's when people talk like that on there, man, they just trying to look for attention, because people say that and then you don't get a response back, or if you do get a response back, it's just more and more negativity. So I mean, it is what it is, man. I'm trying to stay away from negativity. So anyway, thank you for everybody for showing up here. I see a lot of people popped in here today. We're just talking all nonsense, man. Shout out to Tough Love, man. I couldn't get your name the other day. I don't know what the hell that was about. But shout out to you, man. Me and Tough Love always hitting each other up in DMs and stuff like that. So shout out to a lot of people here that does the same there. Cleveland pulled out. I don't even think Cleveland was involved. To tell you the truth, I don't think Cleveland is involved, because it just so happens that Cleveland as a franchise. If you look at Cleveland, let me pull up Cleveland's roster. This is Basketball Reference. Shout out to Basketball Reference. Let's just look up Cleveland. Not a good speller, guys. So Cleveland. Cleveland. Where are you? There you go. Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's look at the roster for last year. Even just let's look at it this year. So they were third in the conference last year. I'm just looking at certain players. All right, this is their roster here. You got Evan Mobley, Robin Lopez, Raul Neto. One of the guys I'm looking for, I can't think of his name. That's why I pulled up the roster. What's his name? Karis LeVert. You look at Karis LeVert, he was one of the main people involved. You want to talk about Isaac Okoro. If you look deeper into that deal, Karis LeVert and RJ Barrett, what's the difference? People say, oh, they like one more than the other, but truthfully, when it comes down to what's the difference? They're comparable players. That's what I'm trying to say. Isaac Okoro was in the same draft that Obi Toppin was in. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just a coincidence. And then these are the same names that are involved in these trade talks and stuff. So I mean, that I think that came out just for from Danny Ainge's side, just to put it out there, say, look, Cleveland's going to offer this. When the Cleveland said, no, we're not. Why are you lying? Because it's just a comparable team to the Knicks, just to show that, hey, look, we got this deal coming, whatever, we might accept that. You're not accepting anything, man. You're not accepting anything. Please stop. Please stop. What was the other team? Memphis was another team. They were talking about giving a certain amount of draft picks for the Durant trade. And then right after that report came out, the same day, Durant and the Nets make a joint statement saying that everybody's going back to training camp. We'll see you in training camp. So anyway, as soon as that Memphis idea came out, it's a coincidence that the Nets and Durant came out there with joint statements, printed out piece of paper, with both of their stamps on it, the boardroom and the Brooklyn Nets logos on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's they put it out there jointly because Danny Ainge is trying to use them for leverage too. Because they're trying to say, okay, look, they're willing to give X amount of draft picks for Durant, but Memphis already said they're not trading their young guys for Durant. That's not happening. So that's a dead move too. So and it's a coincidence. 5 draft picks. Nobody's trading 5 draft picks. It's not happening. Nobody's trading 5 draft picks and from one team. One team alone, 5 draft picks. That's not happening. Maybe in a 3-team, 4-team trade where one team gives 2, another team gives 2, another team gives 1 or 2. Then you might see 6 draft picks going to one team. But 6 coming from one team going to the next. Come on, man. You're talking about unprecedented shit. Stuff that if the Knicks did it, then it's going to become common practice where teams are going to have to give 7 draft picks just to get one guy. So I mean, Leon Rose used to be a agent, so we're not going to set the precedent now. We're just not going to set the precedent now. So I mean, like I said, everything points to Danny Ainge. Just come to the table and just get a deal done that's going to get your franchise in order where you can continue to move and do what you need to do to build up the Utah Jazz back to where they need to be. And then just leave the Knicks alone where they could just get Donovan Mitchell and just move on with our lives too. Because outside of Donovan Mitchell, best believe that that's not the only deal the Knicks are going to do. The Donovan Mitchell is a foregone conclusion. For guys that is paying attention to this chat, I want guys to think about the next move. Because I mean, we already exhausted every possible trade that we can give for Donovan Mitchell, right? So I don't want to see no more trades about, oh yeah, hey, guess what? Would you trade for Donovan Mitchell? Listen, man, come on. I mean, how many trades can we possibly talk about? How many more opinions can we possibly talk about? The trade is already done on paper, no matter how you look at it, right? So after the trade is done, now we can really focus on what we're gonna do next. Is Obi gonna be in the deal? Is Julius Randle still gonna be here? Because here's another thing too, right? If we end up giving 4 draft picks, which I think is the magic number for our Knicks here, man. Let me get rid of the share here real quick. So from what I think, right, if we give X amount of assets to Utah for Donovan Mitchell, I think that there might be another trade. So I mean, like, say everyone wants Julius Randle out of here. So listen, we still might be able to get Julius out of here, trade Julius to Phoenix or trade Julius, because I mean Phoenix, me and Steve been talking about Phoenix forever, man. For Julius Randle to go to Phoenix, but it was mostly for Aiden. But they already kept Aiden, so maybe they might decide they might need more muscle to help Aiden out on the inside. Julius Randle gets 10 rebounds per game, 20, 10, and 5. He's going to help with the passing, help with the scoring, help with the rebounding. That's something that they need over there. So maybe they can trade for him. They're not going to give us Bridges. One of the other Bridges was it Mikal Bridges? They're not going to give up Mikal Bridges for Julius Randle. They might give some of the other guys, man. So I mean, listen, let me share this again just to put the Phoenix roster there, to put that in perspective as well. So I mean, now I gotta figure out how to spell Phoenix. It's PHO, right? Phoenix Suns. So we got the Phoenix Suns. Let's pull up their roster. So I mean, give them what they want. Like what's the name? Utah wants what they want. Okay, give them what they want. And the point, what I'm trying to say is that the Phoenix Suns might be able to give some draft picks to us, so we can retain some of the picks that we gave away. And it sounds like a move that Leon Rose will be down for. So here's some players that's on this roster that might be interested for us. Uh, we got Cameron Payne. I like Cameron Payne. I know a lot of guys might like him as well. Cameron Johnson is the one I'm really thinking about. That's the wing. Everyone's talking about wings. You got Damon Lee is a good player. Torrey Craig is good. So maybe we can get some of these guys here in the back of this roster. This Cameron Johnson guy, that's the one that went against Julius Randle. 6'8", true small forward. So I mean, if we get rid of Julius Randle, get some picks, and maybe get a Cameron Johnson and some other fillers. Now you're talking about a small forward for the future, because I mean this kid is really good, man. Let me look at his stats real quick. 12 points per game last year. This is him coming off the bench, man. Super bench roll, 26 minutes off the bench. You're talking about 12 points per game, 4 rebounds. You got 1.5 assists. Almost a steal. The shooting percentages are great. 86% from the free throw line, 52% from the field. As far as 2-point percentages, 3-point percentage 42%. Come on, bro. 46% from the field after all of this. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that's excellent. Six attempts from three. So let's look at his 36 minutes per game stats. Yeah, I'm looking away from the screen, guys, here because I got some extra stuff going on here. So anyway, look at his 36 minutes per stats. So you're talking about 17, 5, 2, 1 steal. That's very close to what we think Cam Reddish can do, right? But the percentages are great too, just like Cam Reddish, 42%, 46. Cam Reddish doesn't really shoot well from the field. That needs to be noted. But anyway, you add another wing here. Everyone likes wings, so get Cameron Johnson here. Add it to the mix. Maybe Obi Toppin is still here. I'm not sure. I don't know what we're going to be trading away, but Obi Toppin could still be here. Cameron Johnson. Maybe Barrett is gone. Maybe Barrett is gone to Utah. And if that happens, like I said, if we can flip Julius Randle for Cam Johnson, then who the fuck cares about RJ Barrett, bro? We already have all the bases covered. A guy that's a way better shooter, 42%. Even the 39% and the 34% is better than this guy. Where is he from, man? Is he from Canada too? No, he's from Pennsylvania. A Moon Township. I know exactly where that's at. So that's like I know exactly where that is. Yeah, man. So anyway, that's a good player, man. So what I'm trying to say also too, man, just before we get up out of here, let me just go to the end of this chat so I can say what's up to you guys. What I'm trying to say here is that worrying about one player or two players, whatever, there's always probably a next move. There's always something else that we can do. So getting Donovan Mitchell, okay, let's just do it. And then that next move is the move that's going to really show what's what. Now, can we win with Donovan Mitchell, Brunson, say like a Cam Johnson, Mitchell Robinson, and say Obi, if Obi's still here? Can we win like that? I don't know. Everyone, I see some stops and stuff like that. I see Kerry saying stop. But it is what it is, man. Obi's going to Utah. He might. So like my final offer to them is Obi and quickly, and Fournier for Mitchell Robinson. And then the draft picks is whatever it is. 3 is what I don't want to get no more than 3. But if we end up giving 4, okay, fine. But like I said, Julius Randle, on a bad day, Julius Randle's still 29, 10, 20. 10, I don't know about 29, but 20, 10, and 5. I think he messed up with the 9. But on 20, 10, and 5, yes, on a bad day he is. He's still that guy. But we're talking about temperament-wise, man. That's the only thing that we need to really talk about that when it comes to this. So anyway, Jericho Sims is another player that we can stick in that spot at power forward. If you're gonna do that, Jericho Sims and Obi, I would be good with that. But it really all depends what happens with this damn trade. It's really holding everything up, holding the conversation up. And it really needs to stop. Let me see. White Falcon. When they're talking about White Falcon posts emotional trades. I'm just listening to you guys. This is my guy here, Doug. This guy is a nut. I haven't seen him in a while. Shout out to everybody that pops in. I haven't seen a lot of these names in a good while. Just taking a look here. Let me see what Nelville Humphreys is talking about here. He said, the issue you are going to have is that you have 3 players at the most critical positions in the NBA. None of them is a defensive stopper. But listen, why do you need your top player to be a defensive stopper? So go down the line and tell me from say like top NBA player or whatever in the league, who's the defensive stopper? You're talking about, you can't say Kawhi because Kawhi hasn't played in like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? You can't say Kawhi. So like go down the line and who else is out there that you're talking about? Durant? Do you want Durant being a defensive stopper and scoring 30 points on the other side at his advantage? No, you don't. PG can guard both sides of the ball. But what has PG won? I'm talking about PG 13. That's on Paul George. What has he won? And he's playing with Kawhi, and he's played with Melo, and he's played with a whole bunch of these different people throughout his career. What is that? Embiid. Embiid is the top leading scorer. He got to be the rebounder. He got to block all the shots coming in the lane. He got to be the enforcer. All of that. That's why they don't win. You know what I'm saying? They do well in the regular season. That's one thing. But when it comes to winning in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? That's why you need role players. All this stuff, getting all these major players and all these top players, who's a superstar, who's an all-star, and all this. When it comes down to it, the guys are gonna have to play roles. So if we get Donovan Mitchell and Brunson is here, guess who is a role player now? RJ and freaking Julius Randle role players now. Of course that Julius Randle is gonna be still probably gonna get 20, but he's not gonna get 20 as the main ball handler and stuff like that. He's gonna have to play off of Brunson and Donovan Mitchell in order to get his points. Can he do that? Yes, because he's did it with the Pelicans. So that's why I think it still might work if we don't trade Julius Randle, because Julius Randle already proved on the Pelicans that he can score on the inside. Even his first year with the Knicks, he did a lot of scoring on the inside. He didn't really start going crazy with the perimeter stuff until Tom Thibodeau got here. The extra shit with the perimeter stuff. So it is what it is, man. I still believe in Julius Randle, but like I said, his antics last year, we always posting these pictures here. His antics last year was unexcusable, man. The thumbs down to the fans and just the body language on the bench that me and State always talking about. It's just too much, man. It's just too much. Even just that they're showing the Bronx, like he just showed up like he didn't really care about what was happening and whatever. And then the backlash from that, come on, it's the same old shit. It's the same old stuff, man. So I mean, everyone's tired of it. Julius Randle did it to himself, and if we can get away with it, then it is what it is, man. So anyway, the thing I mentioned about primary players that could play defense, I see White Falcon mentioned PG-13. All these guys. RJ still will have time, but RJ's not going to ever be that big scorer. I just don't think he will be. I like the fact that he was doing those turnaround jump shots and stuff in the practice. If he could continue doing that, and add some more stuff to his bag in that way, then maybe. But he got to be consistent. He's not consistent scoring the ball, man. It's just not enough for me. I don't like him. Working out with Lee Hanlon, whatever his name is. I can't pronounce his name. His name's not even Lee. But I mean, you don't talk about Hanlon, the guy that he's working with. I really don't like him as a trainer for RJ. RJ needs to be broken down, yes, but I just don't agree with the stuff that's going on. Also, to Mitchell Robinson, there's a video showing him shooting a hook shot. That's probably a dig towards me, or podcasters like me that don't like him. I don't like Mitchell Robinson. I don't like him as an enforcer. I don't like him as a big man. I think he's valuable as far as a defensive player and those and the other. But when it comes down to giving me something for his position that's going to benefit the team outside of just that stuff, he doesn't bring it to me. You give him the ball, he can't score. You give him the ball, he can't score. If it's not a dunk or athletic move, he can't score. You know what I'm saying? He's not setting good picks. He's not an enforcer. He's not getting in between Julius Randle and the refs. He's not getting in between Julius Randle and other players. He's not protecting Obi Toppin. He's not protecting IQ and any of these guys. So what are you there for? You know what I'm saying? What are you there for? Yes. Anyway, man. This is all I really have to say about this, man. So this is kind of like a shotgun podcast. I didn't announce it. Thank you everybody for showing up here. There's quite a few people here showing up here on YouTube. I'm not sure who's watching on Twitter, but shout out to Twitter. I'm always talking shit about the guys on Twitter, but there are some guys on Twitter that's doing good work there in the Twitter spaces and stuff. Shout out to them. State is affiliated with one group, and then another group too that's headed by I can't think of the guy's name, but there's a couple guys there that do great on Twitter spaces, man. It's not always yelling and screaming and whatever, but I want to say 65% of the time they are though. So I mean, anyway. It's your boy Eru. Hopefully you got something out of this, man. Please go to the beginning of it. It's kind of slow starting because, like I said, I'm not really feeling good tonight. I was gonna do this pod yesterday, but I couldn't get to it. Today I had a long day out there with the family, man, so I didn't really get a chance to. So I finally got it out today, man. So I have another pod that I got in mind that I actually wanted to do today that I probably will do tomorrow. So look out for that. I'm not sure exactly when I'll be able to get that out, but I will do that, man. So anyway, it's your boy Eru. Shout out to everyone in the chat. I see White Falcon. I appreciate you guys coming in here, man. Taking a look at these AVs here. So I mean, before you get out of here too, please think about subscribing. Let me put this at the bottom of the screen. I always forget to ask. So before you leave here, make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and all this other stuff to keep the algorithms going, and make sure more people can get a chance to see what I'm saying here. So anyway, shout out to everyone in the chat. Also, to look out for some new stuff from State. State got a YouTube channel coming out. We're gonna be developing stuff on his channel. Also, too, a Dire State of Mind still gonna be happening on both channels. And I have some more stuff in the mix too, man. So next week I got a new segment that I'm gonna be dropping for those that are subscribing. I'll post it in the community tab so you guys can know what I'm doing. And just follow from there, man. So anyway, thank you for the support. Everyone out there, 4 fingers to the floor, taking the thumb salute. See you guys out there, and peace.